I'm here with Korey McDuffie, former national champion, Magic Pro. So he ended up bubbling today at the 150th, but that's the road to Nats. I did a lot worse, so.
It was a pretty good tournament. It was about what I expected. The format's pretty well defined. Everyone knew Necros would be the best deck coming in today, or this weekend, and it was hard to say whether or not second best deck would be like Satellar's or Shadows, because both of them like fight Necros in certain ways. And I think the format's still kind of adapting to how to fight Necros, because their cards are so, like whenever you're playing Necros, you can just choose whatever line plays around your opponent's stuff the most optimally. So I would definitely say Necros is probably the best deck for the weekend. I personally played against a couple of Satellar's, and they seemed to one of them was my loss, and I beat another one. And I also played two Shadows, and I would definitely say that most of the trap cards probably are the best cards against Necros.
So you wouldn't
just to be technical about the format or whatever. What were you gonna say?
You wouldn't put Clifford in the top second slot now?
So I was only mentioning that was what I realized when I was preparing. I didn't really think much about Clifford. Clifford I really don't like that much anymore, because Valk is so good against it. But to be fair, I guess the better Clifford builds nowadays play towers and just try to lock people out that way. And also they really gained a lot with lose one turn. They're the only deck that got to do anything with lose one turn, and the rulings are finally established on it. Before, you could special and effect monster and then book it and still get its effect before it had to be face up. But now, no matter where the monster ends up, even if it leaves the field, its effects still get negated. So lose one turn got really good, and I think Clifford's just abuses it really well. And that probably is what sent Clifford over the top, is towers and lose one turn. But Benedict, I guess he 9-0'd with Clifforts, and Kinsley is unfortunately he's getting kind of rocked up by Clifforts right now too. And I would guess this pretty much for me, this tournament was just preparing for nationals, like you said, the tournament that really matters. And I would definitely say the top two decks for nationals is probably now Clifford and Necros. I think Clifford is better than Shadows and Satellar. Lose one turn is just so powerful, and they get to play a lot of the similar traps that Satellar gets to play anyways. Stellar's even my kind of deck. I love traps, but the thing is the 8 monsters or 9 monsters that you play, that's just so inconsistent, opposed to Necros, where they're the opposite of inconsistent. They can do whatever they want whenever they want. And it's really interesting, the Necros has been dominating for a while now, and there's still not really been a strategy that just absolutely shuts it off. But Clifford, we've seen this weekend, has been the closest thing to beating it. So I would definitely say this weekend was a pretty defined format, and I don't think it's going to change much for nationals other than adding Clifford over the Satellar match.
So for those who don't know you, what was your background coming into Yu-Gi-Oh?
Well, pretty much just all my life. I've played a lot of card games. I did. Yu-Gi-Oh was basically my first card game. I guess I collected Pokemon cards when I was young, but Yu-Gi-Oh I picked up right when it came out. All the kids at recess were playing it, and I definitely saw it was really hype at my school. I don't know, it was just really awesome. But I basically just started learning how to play more or less, not playing by the rules. And I've always had a really competitive nature. Me and my dad have always played chess when I was young, so I was just I'm really competitive. And basically just started going to this local store that could be only open 10 minutes from my parents' house. And I played Yu-Gi-Oh from when I was 12 to 14 or so. It was Monarchs into Teledad, and then I stopped right when Teledad happened, because my whole collection got stolen. Really made me upset. And also, I was at that local card store, everyone was just playing Magic all the time. So a lot of time I had my Yu-Gi-Oh deck, and no one there to play Yu-Gi-Oh, but everyone was playing Magic. So I just was slowly learning how to play Magic throughout the years. And then I don't know, I guess I just started playing Magic a little bit more, and then I saw these cash tournaments, everywhere, and even the local $100 tournaments. When I was 15 playing Magic, the $100, that's 100 chicken sandwiches from McDonald's or something.
Yeah.
$100 is pretty valuable. So I just started playing a lot of Magic, got really competitive, and after grinding PTQs for 2 seasons, I qualified for the Pro Tour when I was 15, and just that's basically just the highest level of competitive play, and I continued to jump back on the Pro Tour multiple times and just fell in love with Magic and never looked back at Yu-Gi-Oh. Played Magic. I played in 11 Pro Tours, got to travel the world tons and tons of times. I've been out of the country over 10 times, and it's all been for Magic. I guess one of the times I did go for Worlds for Yu-Gi-Oh, but I really didn't pick up Yu-Gi-Oh until I work for Super Games in Atlanta, so I buy and sell the cards for Super Games, and so I'm seeing a lot of prices, and I'm always seeing how the meta games are going and stuff like that, and it was kind of a weird advantage I had just to know how card sales reflect on how much deck was going to be played. So I played in a random regionals before nationals, right before nationals, the one I won, and I was also playing a lot of poker at the time, just playing a lot of poker, and nationals was on the border of Canada, basically. You could see Canada from our hotel room, and so I randomly built a hat variant, played in that regionals, and just built the deck how I love how to play Magic. It was just really control-y, really anti-meta, and I had so much fun playing. It was my first Yu-Gi-Oh event in years. I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. I'm gonna go to Nats. I'm gonna build this hat deck a little bit more. Probably scrub out because I've seen Masters not win Nats and stuff like that. So I knew I wasn't gonna do well, and I was just gonna go play poker. And I guess I just kind of fell into Yu-Gi-Oh by playing Magic and poker, and then that event just never let me leave the tournament hall because I was doing well. I never played poker that weekend, and then ever since I won Nats, I've just seen how skill-intensive Yu-Gi-Oh is, and I really like it more than Magic 2, just because it's a little bit more entertaining to me. I learn every single tournament, whereas I'm not saying I don't learn at Magic. I'm not saying I'm the best at Magic, but just I've seen a lot of Magic. I've played a lot, and Yu-Gi-Oh is just really similar, but new concepts.
It evolves a lot faster.
Yeah, it evolves a lot faster, and honestly, I think that there's just less variance in Yu-Gi-Oh, making it closer to chess. Magic, you have a 60-card deck opposed to a 40-card deck, so there's just more cards that cause outcomes. There's in Yu-Gi-Oh, you don't have to play mana sources and mana cards and lose random games to where you draw the absolute wrong half of your deck. Yu-Gi-Oh, it's the opposite. There's 40-card decks, so you can make your deck more consistent, and also there's no mana resources that you have to abide on. So it's the opposite. You get tutor effect, or search effects. You can just search whatever cards you want, and also you have a stack of 15 cards sitting next to you that you always go into every game to make your draws and plays more consistent and happen the same thing. The extra deck for Yu-Gi-Oh makes the game even more consistent too, and also just Yu-Gi-Oh, the R&D for the game, it's gotten a lot better. They've gotten a lot better at just designing the cards and making them more compatible and not too broken, and they do a good job with the ban list. The ban list is obviously one of the best things they could have done for Yu-Gi-Oh. I think being able to completely make sure that the format doesn't get too out of control, and always being able to update stuff keeps the game, like you said, always evolving, always new, and in check. So I really enjoy playing Yu-Gi-Oh. I've still been playing Magic. I've just been basically doing the same thing for Magic as I am Yu-Gi-Oh because it takes up so much of my time. I only play in the premier events. Before in Magic, I would play in every local cash tournament, every PTQ, and every whatever how Yu-Gi-Oh players are playing regionals. But for I've just been playing in the most premier events pretty much since I won Nats.
If you had any advice to give someone playing in their first Nats upcoming this year, what would you say?
Don't feel self-entitled. Yu-Gi-Oh is really hard. There is, luck and stuff like that. Don't feel like just because you're better than your opponent that you should win, because that'll also kind of affect your attitude and your emotions to maybe even make you mess up when you're playing. So yeah, definitely just come with a really prepared idea of your deck. Know what the best decks are. Have a good plan for everything. You can take plenty of time to practice for Nats. You have so much time, and Yu-Gi-Oh, every single time I play in a tournament, I feel I wish I had another day just to tune the last couple cards of my deck, just because it is so hard to get the tight, most perfect list that you possibly can. So basically, I would just say make sure you come with a really prepared plan for all the matchups and play a lot. Last year for Nats, I did take testing for Nats seriously. Once I topped that regionals and I knew I was going to go to Nats, I did tune that hat deck a lot. I played a lot on DN. I would just sit there and goldfish opening hands. I was always calling my friends. I would call Patrick, and just like find rulings about the game, because Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic's rulings are very similar to the point to where it's bad. Like I confuse some things sometimes, and basically I just like jammed for nationals. I really did. I put in probably like 2 to 4 hours every single day from that whole month leading in, and you could put in more. I've seen Patrick Hoban, I see him like literally just he's thinking about Yu-Gi-Oh! All points in time. Like there's a reason him and Barrett top every single event. It's because they care about Yu-Gi-Oh! So much. They're always thinking about it, that they don't miss anything. Like whenever someone plays in a tournament, there's probably something better they could have done to their deck if they had just taken the extra time to test it and make sure all the numbers were as consistent as you could get them. So definitely just make sure that you're playing a very consistent deck. If you want to top nationals, you have to play 16 rounds, 17 rounds, which makes Necros really good. If you can do the same thing every game and not ever have to brick, so to speak, that'll definitely increase your chances of winning more than anything. I'm going to try not to deviate away from Upstart Goblin. I'm going to try to play Upstart Goblin. I'm going to try to play as many search effects as I can, kind of thing, and just have the most linear, consistent build that I can. Because nationals, you have to draw a lot of things have to go right in order to win any tournament. You have to count on your opponents playing bad. You have to count on playing perfect. You have to count on your opponents, siding, they can side deck incorrectly. They can miss their triggers. There's all kinds of things. They can top deck their 1-ofs that you wouldn't want them to have, and just I don't know. There's a lot of things that do have to go right in order to win a tournament. The die rolls, another thing too. So definitely just make sure to have a really well-tuned list, and be emotionally prepared too. 17 rounds is really draining. It's a long grind, and you're gonna be playing against the best. Nationals is the tournament that people care about. That's the one that people want to win. That one, going to Worlds is one of the most prestigious events I've ever been to. More prestigious than any Magic event I've ever been to, and I've played in two Magic World Championships. So I would definitely say the dream to getting to Worlds is really, really enticing, I guess. So as far as preparing, just same as always, just make sure your deck's a little bit more consistent, and just be emotionally prepared are the best important things I can say.
Any shout outs?
Shout outs, I got a lot of friends behind me, and all the fans, honestly, or I don't even mean to say fans, just people that recognize my work and my somewhat success in the games I play. It does mean a lot to me, because I do take the game seriously. I think about it all the time, and it's really cool when people take the time to listen to my thoughts that I think of every single second of every day, and I just love talking and analyzing it. It's such a really, really intriguing game to never it's so hard to imagine being a fully mastered Yu-Gi-Oh! There's so many ins and outs and so many things. So pretty much just whenever people listen to me, or whenever you come to me and want to do one of these videos, that honestly means a lot to me and stuff like that. So I really appreciate all the support that I get.
All right, that's Korey McDuffie. Great to hear from you.